we've got one more thing before we break for a lovely lunch. This is a bit exciting because there's boxes here. I think it might be a magic show. Let's see how this goes. I only met Ginny Vincent for the first time at a Partners in Prevention of Violence meeting. Ginny is the team leader for East Gippsland's 54 Reasons, which was previously or is part of Save the Children Australia. And Ginny's a member of lots of partnerships and other meetings. She has previous experience in disaster relief with the American Red Cross. You'll tell from the accent. She worked as a counsellor during various hurricanes and disasters. She came to Australia in early 19 and experienced our drought, bushfires, COVID, floods, earthquake, and a windstorm so huge she said it was like a tornado which she had already experienced. Ginny's going to talk to us today about a really exciting project that the Children with Additional Needs Working Group, which is a working group of the Children's Wellbeing Collective, put together when it was acknowledged that children with additional needs and their families are impacted even more so by disruption. It's harder to manage the change and keep stability and routine, which is often really important, and to access the services that you need. So this is a really exciting project that the Children with Additional Needs Working Group put together, and it's a pleasure to welcome Ginny to come and talk to you about that. Please welcome her.
What do you mean I have an accent? I am so honored to be here today, to be among all of you, and not just to be here and to be a part of this Rising Strong forum, but to be accepted by you as well. Someone who comes from outside your community, although I've been here 5 years. I do know some of the Australian slang, although every day I learn something new and I have to ask, what does that mean? But I'm honored to be here and to be a part of this group. Okay, here we go. On the count of 3, I would like everyone in this room to introduce yourself to me out loud so I can hear you. Ready? I want to hear it now. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no, you can do better than that. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Very nice to meet you. And as you know, I'm Ginny Vincent, and with 54 Reasons, just as a brief, 54 Reasons is a branch of Save the Children Australia and is the backbone of the East Gippsland Collective for the Wellbeing of Children and Young People. I can say that now. I used to not be able to say it. It was an acronym that I had to count on my fingers, but now I can say it. And also a member of the Children with Additional Needs Working Group. When we are stressed or in a tense situation, we experience certain signs and symptoms. We all do. We get overstimulated. And it's caused by the excretion of excess adrenaline and cortisol. Some people like that adrenaline rush. Some of us don't. But the symptoms usually include heart palpitations, lightheadedness, high blood pressure, shortness of breath, maybe the sudden onset of headaches, sweating, anxiety, and tremor, shaking knees, like before getting up to speak. I had all of these this morning at 4 o'clock when I was thinking about having to get up today. And how do we regulate our stress or that adrenaline rush? Here are some examples. A near-miss car accident. We've all had them. You're driving. Oh, let's see. Make sure I'm driving on the right side of the car here. You're driving on the right side of the road, and you start to turn, and you see there's someone in your blind spot. You get a startle response. Your first thing that you do is, then you exhale. And some of you may say words that I can't repeat here. That's our response. Our regulation to that situation is when the danger is over, we exhale. We still may feel a little shaky for a bit, but we usually get to our destination in one piece. Here's another example. Your child pulls away and darts towards a busy road. How many of you have had that happen to a child or grandchild? Your response is to yell, to run after them, to grab them by the hand, maybe hold them even stronger. You get those heart palpitations, and you might feel a little lightheaded. The regulation in that for us, of those of us who have experienced, is there's a sense of relief after you've gotten a hold of that child, a sense of relief that they are safe, and maybe that night you hug them a little more closely. Now, I don't want to scare anyone, so if this really freaks you out, I'm very sorry. Think of that thing you fear the most. For some of you, it's bats. For others of you, it could be snakes. For others, it could be spiders. I know someone who's afraid of feathers. Literally, even a feather duster she cannot handle. Now imagine that thing you fear is in this room, somewhere, lurking. You can almost feel the anxiety of such a perceived situation. But you can regulate because I'm just making this story up. You can tell yourself, no, it's not true. There are no bats, spiders, snakes, or feathers in this room. Or you may start doodling. How many of you are doodlers? We got doodlers in the room. If you go over there and look at my paper I've been writing on, I'm a serious doodler. I was reprimanded in school for being a doodler because it was also known as not paying attention. But actually, they have found that doodling helps calm you, it helps you focus, it actually activates the left side of your brain so the right side of your brain can focus. It's your body's way of not letting your brain go into neutral. Here's the story about the sensory kids. After the 2019-2020 Black Summer bushfires, a small group of people saw the need for neurodiverse children and young people to have tools when they're at an emergency relief shelter. In general, a neurodiverse child may have autism. They may be on the spectrum. They may have ADHD, dyslexia, or any child with additional needs. They just need extra support so that they can feel calm, so that they can regulate their emotions. Neurodiverse children don't always have those tools like we have, like many of us have those tools, or many of us have perhaps learned those tools in our lifetime. The whole idea of mindfulness and taking a deep breath and, reflecting and being calm and counting works for some people, but that's something we've learned. So here's a scenario. You've just evacuated your home and find yourself here. This is an emergency relief shelter. You, as an adult, are stressed from what you just experienced and what you had to go through. You're unsure of what's going on at your home and at your property. You are unsure of how long you will have to stay here. You feel all or some of the symptoms of excess adrenaline, like the ones I mentioned before. And if you feel this, how must neurodiverse children and young people feel who are unable to regulate the symptoms of that stress? Enter our wonderful sensory kids. Realizing this, that these children needed something when they were in this emergency shelter. They needed those tools, maybe things that, their favorite teddy bear or their blanket couldn't be grabbed fast enough to get them, the family, safe to a shelter. a group of people got together in 2019 and 2020 and found a way that they could help these children. Sensory toys. Oh, we've seen them, fidget toys, spinners, but sensory toys. Because what is in these containers here, these bins, are things that can help a child feel calm, feel peace, regulate, and have a better sense of safety. Now, some of you, and I may mention a guilty pleasure here. Some of the things that we do as adults, and maybe children too, is the same kind of relax and focus that you get when you play solitaire. On your phones? Yes, solitaire. Or how many of you play Wordle? But here's the guilty pleasure one. Who knows who King Robert is? Royal Match. Yes. You see the ads all the time. If you play solitaire, you're always seeing the ads for King Robert and Royal Match. In these containers, not just that, there are also specially written social stories about what that child can expect, and written in their language, what they can expect while they're at the shelter, the kinds of things that they might hear or see or feel. And I was thinking, it's no different than us. It's sort of like an agenda. I know I would have been really disappointed today if there was no agenda. I even brought my printed one just in case. Because as adults, we need to know what's going to happen, even if we're in a safe meeting. So children who are neurodiverse, who have additional needs, also need that. And so this wonderful group of people put this kit together, and in this kit we have tools and resources to help lessen a child's anxiety level. Tools that link the body's senses, like seeing, touching, hearing. So I want to show you a few items in the kit. Sounds. Headphones. Oh, thank you very much. For sounds, we have headphones. I can't hear myself. Oh. We have weighted mats. We have books they can doodle in with, someone even thought of this, colored pencils, and there's a little pencil sharpener in the bag. How horrible it is to have colored pencils and you have no lead to color with. We have a weighted warmie. It can be warmed up. So I'm not going to go through all of it, but these are the kits that were created for these children as a result of a need that was seen when children went to the emergency shelters. So here, I'm going to give you this. I'm going to take my headphones off. Now, if during lunch you would like to investigate, please do. The Children with Additional Needs Working Group worked with the East Gippsland Shire Council's emergency management team to improve experiences for children who find themselves at either a community assembly area or emergency relief center. The project was funded by the East Gippsland Community Foundation as part of a broader grant. I'm reading this because I don't want to leave anyone out. These kits were assembled by the Children with Additional Needs Working Group, and then they were placed in all emergency relief centers in East Gippsland, and 2 kits are available for the community on an as needed basis. Now, remember my introduction? The difference between us all speaking at once and the sound of one voice, that is the difference of what a child or young person with additional needs or who is neurodiversive experiences due to sound or lights or strange places or smells. While we never want to experience such an event as Black Summer bushfires again, if we do, this initiative has created sensory kits that will make life easier for children and their families. Now, you think, well, I wonder when they'll be used. Well, let me tell you something. October 2023, and I checked with Blanche about this earlier, when we had the Briagalong fires and they started to turn, in Lucknow, these kits were opened and used. And I remember when the Children with Additional Needs Working Group found out, we literally cried to know that this made a difference for a child, that they were in those tents or teepees. We have both. The people whose fingerprints are on these kits: Rachel Bell, Kate Pemberton. From the East Gippsland Shire Council, we have Kath Smith, Blanche Evans, Shane Turner, and Jody Simpson, the advocate for all things children with additional needs and owner of the Jody Simpson Consulting Center. It's noisy out there. I was going to say, shh. Hear that? Quiet, not really. Focus. Feel the calm. That, for a child with special needs, is what this sensory kit brings them. I used this quote in a meeting the other day. Some of you were there. I'm going to use it again because it's so appropriate for this meeting and for this group. Not just children with additional needs, not just 54 reasons, but for all the groups and organizations that you represent. Take this to heart. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Thank you, and thank you for the work you do.
Gift for you.
Aww. Thank you so
There
much.
might even be some sensory things in there.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm going to leave this here so they can...
Yeah, please. What a nice thing to do during lunch is come and suck your thumb, curl up in the corner in the fetal position with a weighted blanket. I know we all feel like we need to do that. Yeah, or hop in the tent. Thank you so much, Ginny. That was really interesting. It's so important, and this has been a thread through the day, to stand in other people's shoes, to walk a mile, to understand from different perspectives, and what a beautiful thing. And I think there was a lot of parents who are parents of children with additional needs that provided input into this around what it looks like. So that was really lovely. Thank you. And please come and have a look. And there's a couple of tubs that are available for you to use, maybe for a meeting or a community barbecue, to be inclusive of these families and children. I'm not going to keep you from lunch. We were going to have a look at our sticky notes, but what I think we'll do is we're going to have them going through the screen during lunch. So you'll be busy talking, but if you're not, you can have a look at some of the comments, and we will have a look at them later, and they will end up in the report. But I don't want to keep you from lunch, so let's do that. Let's enjoy some food together and some more conversations. And we're coming back at... Oh, Sue Ellen, can you help me with this one? I think we're having to cut lunch a tiny bit shorter. So what does the boss say? Let's check with the boss up the back. What time do we have to come back? We have to be back at 2:10 because our next fabulous guest speaker is actually online, and that's the only time she can join us. So enjoy. Oh, one other thing I meant to mention. While you're sitting in the tent sucking your thumb, you can also listen to the beautiful sounds of Christine Waterson, who is a local musician who's just setting up the back. How delicious that we have lunch and beautiful local live music. So please enjoy your lunch.